very early in the morning, so I'm gonna try to be quiet and record this for the last puzzle before I start this not exactly pleasant weekend of work. Let's go here. We've got to go back to the future. We need more lightning. Is that what we need? More lightning. Or just electricity? There's lightning. That's pretty good. Electric ball. Just go with the electric ball. Move on with your lives. It really doesn't work very well, does it? Those zaps were pretty good. Can we find the zaps again? Probably not. I don't know what they're called. Oh, we found Zippy Zaps. This is the one. Okay. So, what do we do? From Sudoku. Whoa, that is so many reading sums. An embarrassment to read your sums, and a bunch of rin bands, and some cages. That's it. This should be manageable, right? A human being like me should be able to do this. Oops. 1 3 pair to make the 4. 21 in 3. Could be 6, 7, 8. Depends on really where we're going with the... This just can't be super big, right? I mean, it can be pretty big. It can be an 8. This is a 9. That's a 1. Is that something to think about, though? That these digits must sum to this. Like this, for example, is definitely not a 9. If you have a... What's the... 8, 9, 4. So this is at least 4, right? Just to make the 21 possible. But I feel like we got other stuff to concern ourselves with. 4, 2, or 5, 1. If it's the 1 would end up over here. And it wouldn't be allowed to be there. I mean, it's just minimum 3, which is not very exciting. This... Is it better to think about the rim bands, probably? Just knowing that we've got 5 length 5 rim bands, or is there more cage considering? Probably obvious cage things that I'm just not thinking of for 3-cell cages. A 3-cell cage can be a lot of things. Maximum 24, minimum 6. So how do we want to go about this? Even if this was 9, this would have to sum to 7. You could still have a 1 here. You can still have very low digits. Can't have a 1 here, obviously. Is it good to think about... I mean, this cage has to be pretty small, right? This can't be more than 6. Let's think about this digit for just a minute, because the minimum this can be is a 1, 2 pair to make 3. So this can't be more than 6. But it also can't be... This is minimum 3, right? This is a 1, 2 pair, or same here. But could it be 3? It seems hard, but maybe. If it's 3, this is definitely 1 or 2. It could be like this is 2 and this is 5 or something like that. interesting. If this is 6, this is 1 or 2. So this is 4 or 5, and that's okay. These are just very restricted, right? This is 1, 2, 4, 5. That's all these could be. 5, this can't be 5, because if we put a 5 here, this is definitely 6. If we put a 5 here, this is 1, because we're summing to 6, but then we're also summing to 6 here. Do we have the same problem with 4s? Maybe not. Let's think about it. So, but I think this can't be 5. If that's not 5, that's not 1. If we put a 4 here, this is definitely a 2. So this would have to be 5. You could do 4, 2, 1, 5. That doesn't work. If you put a 4 here, this is definitely 2. So you have 4, 2. So we can't do 4, 2, 6 here. Obviously we can't do 4, so we're summing to 5. We have 4, 2 plus 1 is 5. Or maybe it just works. 4, 2, 1, 5, 3. 2, 3, 5. Never mind, maybe it works. 1. How could this be 6? I don't think it can. I don't think this can be 6 because whatever you do here, you're trying to, whatever you put here, you're adding a digit here to make 6, but you're also adding a digit here to make 6. I think that's not 6. It's a pretty low digit. Now, if we put a 5, do we really think this could be 3? It seems like it could be 5. To be 4, the only way this can be 4 is if this is 1, 3, 4, which makes this a 2. For this to be 4, we have to go 1, 3, 4. That's a 2 and that's a 5 in that scenario. This feels like not the way I'm supposed to be solving this. We also know if this is 5, then this is 1. But that seems like there's some flexibility there. I guess the other way to think about it is this can only be so low. That this is minimum 4, but it's still a lot to ask. Well, if we try to put 4 here, don't we have the same problem? That this digit needs to add to this to equal 4 and add to this to equal 4. So I think it's not 4. So it makes this digit pretty high. This arrow just has a very different character to it. Do we need to think about the rim bands and where they land and like how big these, big or small, these can be. Fortunately, it seems like they've got a lot of leeway. Well, I know this is where there's just like the obvious revelation that my brain is just not dialed into lately, it seems. These 3 digits can't be more than 9. This just has a different shape to it. Am I supposed to be thinking about the Ren bands? I'm just thinking about the wrong thing. Probably. Oh, weird. Oh, weird. Oh. This is 16. This is 16. So isn't this also 16? Doesn't that check out? Like this and this are the same, and this are the same. And if all 3 of these sum to 16, this sums to 16. That which means we have 16 out of 25. We only have 16 out of 25. Or the other way to think about it is this is 16, subtract 4. We only have 12, so this is 9. Really interesting. And that means, okay, well, if that feels like the place to look. That's very cool. This is 9, so this is 7, right? We must sum to 7 here to make, because this is 9. Since there's no 2 in there. That means this must sum to 12. We've got to hit 9 here with a 1 or a 3, which is 6 or 8. We've got to hit 7 here with a 1 or a 3, which is 6 or 4, but this has to sum to 12, and it can't be double 6s. So it has to be the 8 and the 4. This has to be the 3 and the 1. Look, that took me longer to see than it should have. That's not a 1, so that's not a 5, which makes this a 2-4 pair. Also knock the 4 out of here. Now, if this is 4, is there a similar... That was very nice. Well, we don't have the exact same thing happening that I can see. Anyway, did that help us in this situation? If this is 5, these digits, we're trying to make 9 here. This is 5, these digits must sum to 4, which makes them a 1, 3. And then that would let us have really either way. 4 plus 1 equals 5, or 2 plus 3 equals 5. If this is 3, okay, if this is 5, these must sum to 4, meaning 1, 3. If this is 3, they must sum to 6, without a 2 or a 4, meaning 1, 5. So these are either 1, 3, or they are 1, 5. So any way you look at it, this is a 1, 3, 5 triple to equal to 9, and that's not 3. And this can never be 5 because it would be 7 or 9. So this is the 1. So we get a 3, 5 pair here. 2, 4. And this digit, therefore, do we know it? It's pretty funny because I think we kind of do. I mean, just in terms of... This is either a 3 or a 5. If it's a 3, this has to be a 1, 2 pair. And that could only work if we put the 1 here and the 2 here. Would make that 3. Would make that 2. Would make that 4. 5, 9. Oh, do we know, what do we know over here? We need to make 9 in 2 digits without a 7, which is not that hard. Is that worth thinking about? 1 is dropped in here, which means we need 2 digits that sum to 13, which would have to be a lot of digits. 6, 7, 5, 8, or 9, 4. 9, 4 fully. I guess it's a little hard. I mean, this digit would have to be... This digit sees 3s and 5s and 4s and 9s. Oh, this is obviously not a... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This could be 1. My mistake. Oh, this... We know this. Right? These digits... Right. We do know this. These digits sum to 23. These digits sum to... Blobz, this is really good. I'm sorry, I'm like very slow to see this. These digits sum to 23. Right? And on this side we have 15. Well, we don't. That's annoying. We almost do. So what do we got to do with that? I mean, these digits we know sum to these digits sum to 15, but that doesn't really... There's like an invisible 15 cage here, and there's an invisible 23 cage here. And what's a little annoying is this person. So what do we do with that? We probably can do something with it. How do we think about this? With the 1s down there. Is there anything else we know about? The 3s and 5s unfortunately are unfortunately placed. Is there 8 is a little restricted. But not horribly so. I mean, 8 in here is not in there. It's not 3 or 5, and it can't have a 1 to be the 9. So if 8 is in here, what does that mean? It means if 8 is in here, then we definitely are making a 6. So this would be 5. If 8 is in here, this is 5. Which makes that pretty big. 8 can't go here. If you try to put 8 here, it's added to something that isn't 1, so this digit is too big. So 8 is in there. If we put 8 here, this is definitely 5, right? If we put 8 here, this is 1, that's 9, we're trying to make 14, that's 5. That's 3 then. So that's 6. Plus 1 is 7, which doesn't work. Okay, one more time on that. Let's just talk through that once more. Where does 8 go? 8's not in there. That's not an 8. 8 can't go in here because it would need a 1 and it doesn't have a 1. If we tried to put an 8 here, it would be adding to 2 minimum, which would be 10, so that's broken. And if we try to put an 8 here, that's 1, so this is 9, so that's definitely 5. So that is 3, 5, 8, which means this is definitely 3, 5, 8, which means this is definitely 6, this is definitely 1, so this would be 7 and it's not allowed. So I think 8 has to be up here, and that places 8 here. Really doubt that's the way you're supposed to go about that, but sorry. I don't know if that even helps with anything, but there it is. This has a lot of digits poked out of it. Maybe not enough digits poked out of it. Probably still supposed to be thinking about what's going on down here. I mean, we know the options here, right? Yeah. The options here can be 2. Right, because of this 7. The options here can be 2 plus 3 equals 5, but not 2 plus 5 equals 7. They can't be 4 plus 3 equals 7. 4 plus 5 equals 9. And we said that these need to sum to 15 total. So if we put a 5 here, this is 10. If we put a 9 here, this is 6. But doesn't this mean something for these? Because we said if we put a 2 here, it's 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 5. 4, 1, 5. 4, 1. It doesn't work. Like right. The problem being is how big this can be. And it feels like I broke the puzzle. Because this can only be as big as this, and I feel like I'm only getting to 14, not 15. How did that happen? I have a mistake? That would be a bummer. Because this is only as big as this. This is only as big as this. This is only 3 or 5. But all of these... No. That's not true. I'm sorry. Well, maybe I still made a mistake, but I didn't make that mistake. This doesn't all sum to 15. That was wrong. Sorry. This sums to 15 minus whatever this is. But the point being, which is a minimum of 10. So if this is 15 minus 5, then this is 10. then all this needs to sum to 10. So this would be 5, and that would be the 5. And if this is 15 minus 3, that's 12, 9, 3. So I guess does that still work either way? It feels like I know this, and I'm just not getting it. Let's talk through it one more time. We do know that if it is 2, 3, 5, this is 5. Two, 3, 5, 4, 1, 5. So right now this sums to 10, but this whole thing sums to 10, right? But this whole thing right now sums to 10. That works, right? Because I'm saying it's 2, 3, 5. Maybe it works both ways. 2, 3, 5. 4, 1, 5. That's 5. It's 15 minus 5. This sums to 10. That's 5. 5 and 5 is 10. Or it's 4, 5, 9. Which means this will be 3, this will be 12, so this must sum to 12, which is 6, 6. I think that works both ways, and I'm just confusing myself. That's what I think. I think both of those are perhaps possible outcomes. We need to place a 2. We need to place a 2, and I don't think we have a 2 in here. Because if we have a 1 and a 2 in here, that's only 3. And then this digit has to be 11. So I think that places the 2 over here. We do have to place a 6 and a 7 is what we're missing here. One of them goes over here. One of them goes over here with the 1. So the other digit that's in here is either a 6 or a 7. Meaning the sum is a 7 or an 8. So if it is 1's here, 2's here, 6 or 7, 6 or 7. So if we have 1, 6, we need a 7 to make 14. And if we have 1, 7, we need a 6. So it actually is a 1, 6, 7 triple for sure. 1, 6, 7 triple with a 1 on the bottom. And that means the 9 is not 8, 1. It's not 3, 7. Sorry, 3, 6. It's not 2, 7. The 9 has to be 4, 5. So this is the 3, the 5. The 2 plus 1 equals 3. The 4 plus 5 equals 9. And then to make 3, this has to be 1, 2. And that's going to be 12, 9, 10, 12. This has to be 1, 2. We get the 5 here, the 4 here. So, we didn't quite untangle this yet. Here is just 9 and 8, and 2 is in here. This is an 8, 9 pair. That places the 9 here. This is the other half of that 6, 7 pair. 7 somewhere. We need a 3 up here, along with the other half of the 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5's got to be here. 6 has some leeway, and 7 has some leeway. Okay, so what do we know about these people? We know that 5 plus 6 is too big, so that is just the 1. 5 plus 1 makes this 6, right? this must sum to 9. So this is a 9. Well, this is just a 6-7 pair, right? 13, this must sum to 17. So this is an 8-9 pair. And 9 sees it, so that is just an 8. This must be a 1. That must be a 9. You're the 9, you're the 8. So hopefully that works. 5 plus 1 is 6. 4 plus 13 is 17. We had some other consideration that I've already forgotten about, where this was 23. So this, I guess, sums to 24 because the extra 1, is that right? 14, 15, 24, yeah. That seems cool. We get some stuff going down on these rim bands because we have 1, 2, 7, 8, which seem a little interesting. This does not have the 1 or the 8. So you do have a 2 or a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's certainly a 5 on here. I think about this 18 a little bit, about how low or high those digits can be. So, now what? 8 is definitely down here. And 1 is definitely down here. And then 2 or 7. If we had 8 and 1 in here, that would be 9. And this would have to be 9. Which would pull the rim band in one direction. So that would have to be the 8. Excuse me. 9 is definitely over here. Do you think about this 9? It's unfortunately not super restricted. All we know is it's not 8-1, but it doesn't really help anybody. This 14, is that interesting at all in terms of our remaining digits? We know there's a 2 in here for sure. Yeah, there's a 2 in here. And that means the remaining digits need to sum to 12. So how are we going to get to 12 without 6, 8, or 9? Without 6, 8, or 9, obviously 5, 4 is no good. That's only 9. So I think 5, 7 is our only option. I think 2, 5, 7 is all we can do in here. That's not 5. And if that's true, then the remaining digit is 3. It's just a 3, 4 pair. So you're 2, 5, 7. What does that mean for these rim bands? That's 7, this is definitely 8. If this is 7, this is definitely 5. Does restrict this a little more, I guess. It takes 2, 7 out of the running here. We already knew that anyway, because there's a 2 or a 7 in here. And it takes 8, 1. So this is 3, 6, or it's 5, 4. It's not 5, 4. This is only 3, 6, I think. It's not 1, 8. It's not 2, 7 because there's a 2 or a 7 over here. Why isn't it 3, 6? It's not 1, 8, it's not 2, 7. It's not 5, 4 because 5 is looking at it. It is just 3, 6. That's a 3, 6 pair. This is also. Is that really true? Without forcing the 7 here and the 6 here? Removing the 7 from here and forcing it here. Removing the 7 here, making this a 1, 2, 8 triple. Placing the 4 here. Making this 7, 9, 5, 5, 7, 9. And perhaps doing some weird things to our rim bands. We definitely can't put a 1 here. Or yeah, we could. 1, 2, 3. Never mind. This person must have a 5 on it. But the 5 could be here. It can't. If we put the 5 here, then this is a 2. But we have a 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We couldn't have the 2. So I think that's the 5. You are the 2. Which I think means this is 1, 2, 3. You are 6. No 1 there. I don't think we can get to. Can we get to 2? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Can't get to the 2. That is 8. So we have 5, 6. Oops, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means this must be 4 or 9, and it's not 4. So that's 9. 2. You're not 9. Hopefully these sum to 18, and they do. Hopefully these sum to 14, and they do. We did talk about this one. This one I think we just landed on accidentally. Huh. We do get a 6 here. This is a 3, 7 pair. This must be a 5, 6 pair. And this must be a 2, 7 pair. And the 7 will be placed. Gotta remember okay, what do we actually have available here? 3, 4, 5 is all we have available. And that's not 4. We know this sums to 9. So if this is 3, this must be 6. If this is 5, this must be 4. Is that how that works? 15. There's a 9 in this 15 cage. And there's a 1 in this 15 cage. So it's going to be 1, 9, 5, I think. I hope. 1 and 9 are both down there. Which, that's a 1, 5, 9 triple. Place the 5 here, the 3 here, the 6 here, the 4 here. You're not 9, you're not 1. 1, 5, 9 triple leaves a 2, 8 pair. That's definitely 2. So that's definitely not 9. This can only be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can only get as high as 6 on there. You're the 5, the 1, the 9. You're the 8. This is going to be 9, 8, 7. This 7 here, the 8 here. This one's a 1 to go with the 7. That constrains this to a 3, 4 pair, which hopefully sums to 15. 8 plus 7 is 15. It's all very good. What are you missing? 9. Places the 9. 5, 7 pair. 2. This is just the other half of that 5, 6 pair up in the sky, but we see a 6. Hope that's correct. know this is a 2, 7. We know it's a 7 and a 2. That's 9 out of 14, which means that's a 5, which we knew there had to be a 5 on here, and it actually could only be there anyway. So we could have gotten that a different route. There's not a 1 on here. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, not that. 3, 4, yeah, the 5, we need the 6. That's not 6, and that's not 6. So that's the 6. So we put a 3, 4 pair, which forces the 7 here and the 3 here. Also means that we got to make 10. We can't put a 3 here because we need the 7. So we put a 4 here to get the 6, to get the 3, which works out, I hope. I almost was thinking these were region sums, and I was really confusing myself. These, this is just the 4, 8, and that's fine. And that just leaves 7. You need a 3. You need a 8. You need a 1. That was so good. It took me a while to see this thing. That should have been much more obvious. But the way that worked out was very nice. This was especially good. I feel like I stumbled through this one, but got there eventually. This one, I kind of feel like I missed out. Like, I think there was some deduction down here that I didn't actually... that I just didn't quite find. It was really interesting, indeed, like, maybe this was not the path at all. But my solve was interesting of going fully from the upper to the lower. It was cool. Like, hanging out up here. Lots of deductions there and then carrying this down. That was a great series, Blobz. I feel like for me, they kind of, like, I think my solves were very clumsy at the beginning, but I think in my mind, like, the intricacy and sort of charm of them really increased over time. I think I messed up I just did a bad job. I almost feel like I should go back and resolve those first puzzles now that I feel like I sort of, not that there's a specific, like, logical theme, but I think a lot of them are about the interplay of different rule sets. I still think Enchantment of the Sea was cool, and if I had seen that sequence that you mentioned more easily, I think Uncle Joey or Dreamboat might be my favorite, although this one was very good. I did really like this. Like, if I had just seen that immediately, I feel like the flow would have been very good. I still feel like there's something I missed over here, because it wasn't the exact same as this, but anyway, really enjoyed that. Really excellent series. Sorry, it's very early, but I enjoyed it. I hope those solves were helpful. Sorry for all the clumsiness. Bye.